This is the OnePlus 5. And chances are, if you want a semi-budget smartphone running a fairly clean-cut Android software, this is probably going to be the one you want to buy. Now, there's really three things that stick out to me when it comes to the overall experience with this phone. The first being the design, the second being the software, and the third being the performance. Starting with the design, yeah, it looks like an iPhone 7 Plus, actually exactly like an iPhone 7 Plus. It has a really nice, sleek appearance, plus in the midnight black color, it looks pretty hot. One thing that actually sticks out to me is the feel in your hand. Something between the texture of the metal and the squared corners makes it feel incredibly premium. But yeah, it does look like an iPhone 7 Plus, but I don't mind it. The next thing that I want to talk about is the software. And as you probably know, I am a huge sucker for a stock Android experience, and this is incredibly close. Everything from the design of the icons to the way that you swipe up to reveal your app drawer, sort of complementing the Pixel launcher, makes this experience incredibly clean. Surprisingly, one thing that I find actually very useful is the shelf on the left side of the display. It basically takes over what would be the Google Now launcher and replaces it with a bunch of widgets that you can choose. So yeah, I think it is a good use of space. Now, the next thing on my list is the overall performance. And this phone is incredibly fast. In fact, it actually keeps up with something like the Pixel or the Galaxy S8, which in my opinion are still some of the fastest phones on the market right now. Like literally, there are no lags with animations or just general performance, and it feels so incredibly snappy and fast. And also, battery life isn't actually that bad. I'm getting almost a full day, which is surprising considering I've never had much of luck with battery life with OnePlus. And then of course you have dash charging, which is super fast and super awesome, and I wish that all phones would have it. So yeah, not too disappointed on that front either. Now obviously I can't make a whole entire review without mentioning the camera or the speakers or all of that stuff. So let's dive into that real quick. So jumping into the camera, you have an almost blatant ripoff of the iPhone user interface. Everything from the standard zoom button to the 2x zoom button, of course using that double camera, is basically the same thing. Then of course swiping over to the what would be portrait mode, which is called depth effect on here. And depth effect works okay, it's not great. In my experience, the subject of the photo isn't quite outlined well, so you get this weird blur on random places of your subject that just leaves an overall weird looking image. And then of course there's the speaker, which sounds kinda horrible. Especially coming from the speakers on the iPhone 7 Plus, which is sort of like an awkward stereo mode. It just sounds so much better than this single speaker on the bottom that sounds borderline tinny. But besides all that, the screen is actually pretty awesome. The fingerprint scanner is still the fastest I've ever used. Like literally, I just can't quite get over how fast this actually is. Like one tap, that's just nuts. And button placement is actually really good. You have the power button on one side, volume rockers on the other, which is the way it should be, and then you have the notification slider that is sort of OnePlus's forte now. I think the best way I can describe it is sort of a glorified iPhone mute switch, just with an extra setting, and it's fine. Not revolutionary, but it's fine. But the point is, I don't quite know where OnePlus is headed now. Their phones are getting more and more expensive every single year, and now starting to creep up on actual flagship prices. But the fact is, this is still a really great phone, and you'd be hard-pressed to find anything better at this price.
That was the movie.
I do good things.
Quiet on the set! Audio in progress!
Yo, so quick shout out to Michael Tobin. He was gracious enough to lend me this phone. I was holding that up saying that this was Michael Tobin.
This is Michael Tobin.
He was gracious. God, this is harder than actually recording the actual narration. Yo, so quick shout out to Michael Tobin. He was gracious enough to lend me his phone to review, which was really awesome. And also, he trusts me way too much to not break this or lose it. So yeah. Anyways, go show him some love. Go follow him. Go subscribe to him. He has awesome content, by the way. Like seriously, check his stuff out. And also, he sent me a box with Marques Brownlee's signature on it. And that's pretty cool too. It's definitely a scribbly line, but you can kind of make out that it says MKBHD, which is pretty dope. Anyways, thank you all for watching. Stay tuned. Take it easy. Bye.
Audio off. Okay, shut down the audio, right? Shut down the audio. Shut down the audio. Shut the audio.